Hello, welcome again to another episode of Entrepreneurship 101. We're actually recording a second episode live here on Entre, but we're just a weekly podcast from the Abington Launchbox. I'm Alex Angermeyer, the Launchbox producer and amplifier, and I'm joined here again with my co-host, Peter. Peter, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Alex. Thank you for asking. So I'm Peter Hormiger. I'm the director of the Abington Launchbox here on the campus at Penn State Abington. And we do this every week as a way to reach our audience with some topics that may be of interest, but also to engage in conversation, hopefully not just with each other, Alex and I, but also it's a space where if you want to join us, let us know. You can find out more at our website, abington.launchbox.psu.edu, and all the other platforms that we're on, which we'll talk about as we go. But on Entrepreneurship 101, we share 3 topics, 101 seconds each of our guests as we go through. It's a quick bite of business topical information for the day, so we hope you enjoy it. So Alex, I'll turn it back over to you as we get ourselves started with topic number 1.
Yeah, thank you, Peter. So the first topic we have today is something I'm going to be familiar with soon because I just co-founded with Tom and Derek.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry, glitched. Tom and Derek, the Entrepreneurial Student Association, and we're going to have a problem with driving engagement. So I was wondering your thoughts on driving engagement.
Yeah, so thank you for championing those efforts with Tom and Derek to start an entrepreneurial student association on the campus at Penn State Abington. I think that's a big deal, and it's a lot of work. But now the next stage is how do you get people to join the club? How do you get them engaged? And we just did a live stream for Global Entrepreneurship Week at Penn State during the week of November the 8th of 2021. And one of our guests was a content creator, Brian Saviano. He creates content as Bricks O'Brien. But one of the things that he shared during that live stream is, I think, the lesson that I would use here to say, how do you drive engagement? Is partner. One, go out and connect with other groups that are already doing things, that have already established audiences. And you're not going in there to steal their audience. You're going in there to authentically engage with them. And hopefully what you're doing will resonate with someone and they will say, you know what, I'm going to join an additional club. I'm going to add something else to the list of things that I'm already engaged with. So I think going out and finding spaces and places that are already established, that have established audiences, making yourself available, being a guest, being a voice there is one way that you're going to get in front of new people. And the other one is to be authentic and open. Be transparent about who you are, what you're doing. Invite people in to help shape the club. I think people get engaged not just to be a participant. I think they get engaged because they want to be part of the action. And I think you can find ways to do that. That's my 101 seconds. So Alex, as one of those founders, I'm going to turn it back over to you. I'll give you 101 seconds. How do you want to drive engagement? How do you see that getting started for the newly founded Entrepreneurial Students Association at Penn State Abington? You have 101 seconds starting now.
Yeah, founding was just step one, and I feel we're going to foresee Thomas and Derek and I are going to foresee an engagement problem, and I feel like that's with anything, just starting something new on campus, or just starting a new club on campus. How do you drive that engagement? Because it's basically a checkered flag or not a checkered flag. I would say it's actually a green light to okay, now you have approved your club. Now you have to find engagement, or you have to find members, engaging members, and it might be difficult. We needed 10 students to have interest. We got that. Thank God we got that, or we would never been approved. But now we have to reach out to those 10 students and reach out and say, do you want to actually engage and be an engaging member? Because these 10 students showed interest, but there's a difference between showing interest and actually being an engaging member of a club. And I feel like it can be easier to just say I'm interested, but it's actually way harder to be an engaging member. So in my opinion, I think, well, for digitalization, I feel like engagement, like we use Engage. It's engagement. It's funny, but Engage at Penn State Abington, that is like basically like a Facebook for Penn State. I think if you use Engage to drive engagement, I feel like that's a great way. I feel like it's very underutilized in that sense because I got almost over 200, 300 people to look at that and 2 interested members. So now it's just going to be getting those interested members to engaging members.
Good. Thanks again, not only for the words, but also the work that you've put in and that you're going to just start doing now because, like you said, you're right. You got the green flag to now start working after you put in 10 weeks of work to get things going. So we appreciate that. So Alex, why don't you tell people where can they find more of our content and how can they join us if they want to share some of their opinions?
Yeah, thank you guys again for listening. This is our second time recording on Entre Live, so we greatly appreciate it. We could be found on YouTube and any other podcast resource or platforms, for example, Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We also have a YouTube channel, so don't forget to subscribe. We're at the Abington Launchbox. And also, we're always looking for guests. So if you think you would be a good candidate or if you know someone that may want to be on the podcast, please contact us at abington.launchbox.psu.edu. Thank you.
Yeah, and when you listen live, you can actually join in and be part of, I guess, the live audience now that we have. So thanks for joining us. We have someone joining us, which is excellent. So thanks for the time. So Alex, how about I'll kick back to you now, topic number 2. And we're going to kind of keep on the student theme a little bit. I guess that's really the theme of this episode is student engagement at campuses, not just Penn State, but at any campus. But Penn State is a statewide entity. We have hubs and campuses all over our state, so about 21 different locations across the state with a main campus at University Park that has a lot of activity. So topic number 2 is how can students get involved in programs that are hosted at University Park, or if you're at another university system, kind of at that hub center where a lot of the activity starts. What are your thoughts on how students can get engaged if they're not at that center of activity? Is it clubs, organizations? Do you connect through faculty members? What are your thoughts, Alex, on how do you get connected to the hub if you're not quite there? I'll give you 101 seconds starting right now.
Yeah, so for Penn State, the main hub is University Park. That's the main campus. So that's where all the majority of students go, the big clubs, big engagement. And this just goes for any other student or any colleges or universities, just like Penn State. With COVID and everything went more digital. So it gave you the chance. So if you were at a satellite campus, for example, I'm at Abington, it gave me the chance to interact and be part of these clubs because they held all their meetings on virtual, on Zoom. So it gave me the chance to meet new people, to expand my network, and just to be part of these clubs that we never had the chance to do, or gave me the opportunity to be part of University Park. And I felt like I could be interactive and just like have the same opportunity as them and just being at a different campus. So that just goes with any campus. If you're at a satellite or not at the main campus, with COVID and having everything happen, maybe you have the chance to join these Zoom meetings or interact or connect on LinkedIn or do whatever you can to see if you can join by being on a different satellite campus. Freshman year, last year, I had the chance to join this finance club. I forget the name of it, but it was only hosted at University Park. But I was able to join it and join the Zoom meetings on Tuesdays because it went virtual. So it gave me the chance to meet new people. My friend that went to University Park, I was able to attend the meetings with him and have the same had the same chance as him and the opportunities as him.
All right, good. So I'll take my 101 seconds on this. And I think one of the things that, at least at Penn State, and my guess is this is going to happen at other large universities as well, we really see ourselves as one university that's just geographically distributed across the state. So all students have access to programs. So whether you're at the main campus at University Park, you're at a Commonwealth campus spread out all across the state, Penn State Abington, 6 miles north of Philadelphia, is one of those campuses. The point is, all of those things are still accessible. I think the pandemic and the move to virtual accelerated that move to being much more highly accessible, just like you talked about, Alex, with being able to attend meetings via Zoom much more fluidly now. But there's events and mixers that are happening where everybody is welcome. No matter what campus you're attending, Penn State community is, I think, an open access opportunity for students, whether you're at the main campus, whether you're at satellite campuses, and there's even lots of opportunities for community members all across the state to get involved. Some of it is possibly not as visible as it should be, but there is a mixer event, I believe every year, if not every semester, where students can mingle virtually or in person to get connected with team members. So you might be able to form a team with people you've never met in person. And these are things that you can typically find via websites, but I do think the best access point is talk to your faculty. Talk to faculty, get involved, get engaged. They have access points and can make those connections quickly and easily for you. All right, that's my 101 seconds. So again, we're just going to thank everyone for listening and joining in. We are doing our weekly podcast, Entrepreneurship 101, and it doesn't just have to be my voice and Alex's voice. If anyone has interest in joining us as a guest, please reach out to us. You can find us on our website at abington.launchbox.psu.edu, and you can find us there and check in with us and let us know you want to be a guest, or if you have questions that you would like us to address, you can also forward those to us as well. All right, Alex, let's do topic number 3. So how about you want to kick that off?
Yeah, let's just dive right into it. So, Peter, I'm going to ask you, what outside activities can students be involved in which will help them in their future career or just as a person?
Yeah, so as a faculty member, I do, obviously my job is teaching things in class, but I'm also generally aware that, particularly for employers, for entry-level jobs, your first job after college, the things that really make a big difference are things that happen outside of the classroom. Whether it's work experience that you have, working a part-time job outside of school, internship experience, case competitions that are part of the college experience, hackathons that you mentioned are great things, but also even just starting a business. So as a student, sharing that you are either in the process of launching a business or you did launch a business while you were a student, I think are great things to share with potential employers. So even if you're not going to go in a pure entrepreneurial pathway for your next step after college graduation, I think those are things that you will find will be of interest as you're interviewing. I also think they give you great examples. So as you're interviewing and people are asking you questions about teamwork or facing challenging problems, now you have great lead-ins. So you can say, for example, let me tell you about a case competition I participated in while I was a student. And then you can go into answering that question about whatever it is, teamwork, working with diverse teams, working with challenging problems. You can always now lead into, let me share an example of, or let me give you a story about how I dealt with that in the past. So those are the things that I would recommend as you go through and build that. That's my 101 seconds. We're already at the last perspective, so that's how we do it. 101 seconds, based upon 2 guests, 3 topics. Only takes about 20 minutes for us to do. So Alex, as always, final word comes over to you. What are your thoughts, particularly as a student? I'm really interested to hear. What do you think a student could do, particularly from extracurricular levels, to help them in their career? I'll give you 101 seconds, starting now.
Yeah, to sum it up, I would say is to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And when I first heard that, I was like, oh God. But it's actually true. Like all these outside activities that seem scary, and I'll admit they are pretty scary, I'm gonna be honest, but are going to actually help you in your career. For example, like we just did the case competition. That's why I like this topic, because we just did this case competition and it just gave us that hands-on experience of presenting to judges like Shark Tank. It was basically like Shark Tank with an audience. It gets you practice makes perfect in this sense. With you only get better with experience, especially with presenting. So, but you learn a lot of things, and you don't know who will be in the audience or what the judges are going to talk to you after, or what sort of advice, or like I said, who's watching. I mean, you could get a job offer, or you can get some advice. You can learn a few things from different groups, how other groups present themselves, because we got the opportunity to watch other students present. So you could take, it's not even just presenting, you could take other valuable skills from other students and basically expand your network. Everyone's like-minded. Everyone's trying to present. Everyone's trying to come across, trying to meet new people, trying to engage. But we mentioned before, like standing out. It's just the first step, I would say, too, is just getting involved. But the second step is standing out, for example. So we can, I'm time's running out, but yeah, getting involved is one thing and trying to stand out is another.
All right, and that's it. You hit it right on 101. That was our episode of Entrepreneurship 101. That's where the podcast will end. But if you join us on Entre as we record these live in the future, you can be part of the audience as we're recording it live. But there's also after show. You can check in, share comments, and join us for ongoing conversation. But that's where we'll wrap up. Alex, I'll leave it over to you for the final words as we wrap another episode.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in to our second episode on Entre Live. And if you want to be a guest, don't forget to contact us at abington.launchbox.psu.edu. And thank you for listening.